First off, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makai Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that teach us His word, and Shalom to the hopeful elect upon the four corners of this earth that's trying to make it up out of here. So, this lesson that I wanted to bring out was going to be about controlling your anger and bridling your spirit, because as people as children of the Most High, servants of the Most High that are in this truth, it's very important to control our control our anger. That's one of the most important things that you want to keep as a person, as a servant of the Most High. Here I'll start off with a scripture that I grab pretty often. Here I'll get James chapter 1 verse 19. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High." So, you want to make sure that you're able to understand the situation fully, that you're able that you're slow to act on whatever tense or angering situation happens, because then you have more time to think. You're supposed to be slow to wrath. You're supposed to think out things before you do. You're supposed to think out your actions before you just do things, because people who are, it says in verse 20, "For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High." Most of the time when you do things out of pure anger, all logical reason goes out the window. So it could be anything. You could be angry to, like the story with Cain and Abel. You could be angry with a person to the point where you feel like you should kill him, just like Abel did with his brother. And he wasn't slow to wrath. He didn't think out his decision before he made it. He was just moving on the wrath that he had in his heart. He didn't think about he didn't think about the repercussions. He didn't think about what would have happened afterward. All he wanted was his payback after Abel got more shine than he did. So we can't do that in this kingdom. For example, if you're on the highways and there's a person coming up to you and their spirit's riled up and they're trying to rile up your spirit, you got to make sure that you are keeping yourself bridled. You're keeping yourself under control, because that can be a very angering situation. That could be a very tense situation that you feel like you have to get riled up as well. But you got to make sure that you think about the situation. You make sure you know what's going on. You think out your actions before you just before you just go ahead and do something, because you do something like that on the highways. You just pop off and you let your anger take its course on the highways. You could get locked up. You won't be able you won't be able to go home after that, because you'd be in jail for for getting in a street fight. You won't be able to bring out these lessons. You won't be able to see the people you want to see. Just things like that. A simple situation where just thinking about your actions could have got you out of a situation that didn't have to happen. And the reason why we, for one, shouldn't even have to worry about things like that is because with these scriptures, it's changing us as people. It's making us more righteous and controlled people. Here, I'll get Proverbs. Not Salakia. Actually, no, it is in Proverbs. Where is it? No, as a matter of fact, it's in Romans. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good, what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High." So you're not supposed to be conformed to the ways of this world, because how people are in the world, they don't care about, and they're not trying to better themselves as people. They're not trying to, these 2/3, these niggas that's out here, they're just ready to shoot. They're just ready to be violent. And that's why in most cases, that's why black people have the stereotype, or quote unquote black people have the stereotype of being violent people, because we don't them 2/3 out there in the world, them niggas out there in the world, they don't think about their actions. They don't think about the repercussions. They just go off of their flesh. They just go off of their heart. They go off of whatever. If a bit of anger gets filled up in them, they just act on it. But we're being transformed and renewed, and we're becoming better people, to where we know when to use that and when not to use that. And if a situation isn't necessary for us to have to act on our anger, then you should be able to bridle your spirit. You should be able to keep yourself in check, keep yourself on lock. Because, again, the repercussions, you gotta think about the repercussions. Even not even in the outside world, outside an outside world scenario. You gotta think about a scenario if you're amongst Akim or you're amongst a family or something like that, and, and someone's doing something that's family or Akim that you don't like, and if you just act out on anger, you could step out of order. You can commit an action towards a brother that in any other situation you wouldn't have wanted to commit that action, but since you were just moving off your anger, you start fighting a brother. You say things that you know you aren't supposed to say to a brother. Why? Because of anger. And then it's a whole situation that doesn't have to be a situation, because you couldn't bridle your spirit. You couldn't hold your tongue. You couldn't you couldn't you couldn't you couldn't let your anger rest. You couldn't let your wrath rest. And here I get this one's in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 32. Because if you're able to hold your tongue, if you're able to bridle that anger, then you have a lot of self control. You have a lot of strength within yourself. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 32 says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city." So it's showing the strength of a person who's able who is slow to anger, who's able to hold his anger. That's a very strong thing to be able to do. The mental fortitude needed for that is very high. Because you could have someone you could have someone that's strong. You could have someone that's physically strong. But if you're mentally strong, you're able to do something like that. And at that, you're in the truth. The Most High is gonna favor you over that person who's physically strong. Because mental fortitude is stronger than physical fortitude. So here, I'll get and back to my example of people in the world versus people in the truth. People in the world aren't trying to transform themselves. They don't care. Here, I'll get Proverbs chapter 15 verse 18. It says, "A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife." So a person full of wrath, they're gonna seek out that strife, and they're gonna stir it up. They don't care about letting the situation die down. They don't care about finding the peaceable way out, finding the more logical way out. If you don't hold your anger, you're gonna look for that strife. You're gonna go towards it head first. You're not gonna you're gonna be like a bull. And bulls don't think, they're on attack mode. And you don't want to be like that. You want to think out your actions. Now, when is it okay to be angry? Well, we're supposed to have a constant hatred and anger in us towards who? The so-called white man, for example. And it's okay to be angry in some situations. If a person is threatening your family, threatening your life, threatening something like that, it's okay to be angry. That it's okay to let your hatred flow. It's okay to be filled with rage. That's a logical situation. But An example I want to use that I was talking about just a little bit ago. It's okay to have that hatred towards the so-called white man. It's okay to have that hatred towards E. That's an okay hatred and anger to have, but you got to make sure that you're okay. That you got to make sure that you know how to control that anger, because you can't just you can't just go into your workplace and the first Edomite you see, you just start swinging on them. No, you can be as angry as you want, but we're not in the place for that right now. We're not in that situation yet to where we can start doing that. So you got to make sure that you're controlling yourself. That all of us are riled up in this truth. All of us are ready. All of us are on go mode. We're on go mode. But you got to make sure that you're able to control yourself. You're able to settle yourself out until it's time for that. Here, I'll get Romans chapter 12, verse 17. It's the last scripture I'll get. It says, recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Salakia, this might not be the... Oh, Salakia, here we go right here. Romans chapter 12, verse 19. Salakia. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, said the Lord Yahweh. So, for example, if you're on the highways and someone's cursing you out, they're blaspheming the scriptures. They're not trying to listen. They're going back and forth with you. Don't even waste your time with that. Let them have it. Just let them have it, because the Lord Yahweh was saying right there, give place unto that wrath. Let their wrath show, let their true colors show, because the Lord Yahweh is saying that he's gonna get vengeance. He's gonna see what that person's doing, and they're gonna get their punishment. Instead of trying to take it into your own hands and letting your anger, if you got a heavy scoffer with a heavy demon on them, trying to mess with you, trying to get inside your head while you're on the highways, in any fashion, you got a person really trying to get inside your head. Make sure that your anger isn't make sure that you're controlling your anger, because the Most High is saying right there that they're gonna get their punishment. They're gonna get their judgment. Vengeance is gonna the Lord Yahweh sees what's going on at all times. He's gonna get that vengeance. He knows what's going on. So that person's gonna get their punishment. They are gonna get their judgment. And that's just some examples of why and when to hold your anger, hold your tongue. It goes into a lot of different things, that entire topic, and you got to make sure that you live by that, because if you're constantly letting your wrath show, it could get you in a lot of messed up situations that you don't have to be in. If you just have better control of your rage, better control of your anger, you got to make sure that you keep that in your mind if you do struggle with that, because you could get yourself in a lot of situations you don't have to be in. Remember that. A lot of situations that you can be in, you don't have to, if you just control your anger. So, hey, with that being said, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Achar Kodash, and Shalom.